Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about makeup ripoffs. So these are things that I consider to be ripoffs in the way of they take money out of your pocket that they really shouldn't, or I don't think it's worth it, something along those lines. But I want to say before I start this video that this is perception, Some people might think Pat McGrath is a ripoff because it's $125 for 10 eyeshadows. I get that. Not everybody wants to spend the same amount on things. Some people think that some things are worth it and others don't. But that's not really what I'm talking about today. What I am talking about are things that have reasons, in my opinion, that they don't deserve to be bought in the first place with some of them, or that I think that they're a ripoff because of some other reason. I know that sounds very vague. Not all of these products are products that I dislike, but they're all products that I think are ripoffs for one reason or another, and I'm just going to jump straight in with one from MAC Cosmetics. And the one item or particular items, it's a kit, the brush kits. They're usually sold at Christmas or with collections, anything like that. When I worked at MAC, I felt so bad. Like I did not want people to buy those brush kits. And if I could, I would suggest either the other line, like the actual line of brushes, or going somewhere else, because those brushes fall apart. I think they're usually around $50 for a kit of 4 or 5 brushes. They're not worth it. They are not made the same way the other brushes are. And some people will say, oh, they're the same exact thing. No, they are destined to fall apart. They are not worth, that's child's play. That is a set that I would give to my kid for $10 and tell them to have fun with it. Like, I don't know why these things still happen, or sold. I feel like these should be taken off the market completely. I think they are absolute, utter rip-offs. Next up, we have the LANCOME Rose Highlighter. Why? Why? Like, this is a DIY thing. Personally, this thing is like $60 or $70. They came out with one before, they came out with one this year, and it is in a cardboard box that you could go to Michael's and get for 30 cents. And it has this flower that's fake that you could also get for 30 cents. And you sprinkle a little bit, because there's not much of the amount, there's not a lot of highlighter in it, and you sprinkle it on top and it looks pretty. I could make one of these things for $5. Not kidding. I could probably make it with things I have around my house right now. I don't understand the hype. Like, when I first saw the first one that came out online, I was like, oh my God, it's so pretty. But I expected the presentation to be better. I expected the flower, the rose or whatever, the quality of it to be more than like a Walmart little rose flower. I expected it to be soft and silky and have nice edges. It does not, and I did not expect it to be in a cardboard box. So for me, this is an absolute and utter rip off. See, now this is where we're getting to one that I like, because I think people have a misconception that I don't like this powder because I did a review against the original, but I do like this powder. My opinion has changed. Let me just go ahead and tell you what I'm talking about first. This is the La Mer The powder, and this is the reinvented one. And now, when I did the video, I still agree that the original one is better, but I needed to give it a little bit more of a chance, and I still use it today. Anytime that's in my description box, I'm talking about this one, unless I write original beside it. Now, aside from that, my problem with this would not be the price. I'd be willing to pay the price. Obviously, I still am willing to pay the price because I have repeatedly bought this. But the problem, and the reason why I think it is a ripoff, is because this one is $95. And you get 8 grams of product in here, and their excuse is, oh, well, it's in glass packaging and it's got the miracle broth. I don't care. I want this one back. This is the original La Mer powder, and hold on, 25 grams of product. Now it's completely fine with the package that it came in, and I think it is prettier than the new one. And on top of that, I believe this was like $65. $65 or $70, somewhere around there. All I know is this one is substantially more, and it has substantially less, and it's not as pretty as the original. So while I like this powder, and I use this powder, I suggest this powder, and I will continue to purchase this powder, I do believe that it is a ripoff. This is a product that I did not even bother ripping myself off because I knew that that's what it was. And this is Huda Beauty's Remastered Rose Gold Textured Palette. No. Like, I'm not okay with this at all. The original was limited edition. It was pushed to say, hey, it's never coming back, blah, blah, blah. And then it came back as a remastered, better formula, blah, blah, blah. Rip off. An absolute rip off. I don't agree with releasing the exact same palette in a better formula and then just kind of saying F you to all the people that bought the original. I bought the original, and I had gotten asked several times to review the second one. I was like, no, to me that was such an obvious ripoff that I was like, there's no way I am going to fall for this. No way at all. And I know a lot of people even said that the original one was better than the remastered one. I don't care either way. I will never know because I will never purchase that palette. The Becca Hydra Mist powder. So I have talked about not liking this powder, but that's not why I think it's a ripoff. The reason I think that this is a ripoff is because it is a 6-month shelf life product that only lasts a month or two. I touched it at 2 months and it had not been opened or anything, and it was completely dry. So I feel like because of that, because it doesn't last the 6 months, and I don't know about you, but I don't use a powder in 1 month, especially a loose powder. So if you wanted that cooling sensation, in a month or two, it's going to be gone. So you've got whatever powder you have left without the reason why that you bought it. The gimmick is what I like to call it, or also a ripoff. I think it makes it even more of a ripoff because if you really, really, really enjoy this powder and you feel like you absolutely have to have it for your makeup to look its best, well, then you're going to be buying it every month or two to be able to have that cooling sensation. And that sucks. All of the Natasha Denona minis. This is the mini Lila. I actually like this, so it's not that I don't like the product. It's that, yes, it's $25. So I think people see that, and even I see that. I'm like, oh, $25. That's so much better than $125. But the amount of product and price per gram you are spending on these minis is insane. Like, it is crazy. So there's two things. A, you're spending way more money even though you're technically taking less out of your bank account, and it's not even the same quality. So that, to me, is a little bit of a, oh, that sucks. It's a ripoff. It's an easier to bite bullet, like it's an easier to take ripoff, but it's still a ripoff. And then the very last one I'm going to say is the Beauty Blender. I think that the Beauty Blender is amazing. It's great. I love the Beauty Blender, but I refuse to buy anymore because I feel like I'm going to say it's a ripoff. But I feel like I've said it so many times, I'm like tired of hearing myself saying it's a ripoff. I think they need to lower the price on it because originally there was no competition at all. So $20 for that sponge, it was like, I'm willing to spend it just like I'm willing to spend for Pat McGrath. Now, if there's something out there that Pat McGrath, like somebody all of a sudden just completely outdid Pat McGrath, would I be willing to spend $125 on her if something else was better in my opinion and was less? No. So that's kind of how I feel about the Beauty Blender. I feel like there are actually better sponges now. The L'Oreal sponge is $7. The Sonia Kashuk sponge is like $7 or $8. And then the Linda Hallberg sponge, it's not as much less, but it's still less at $15. I feel like you're gonna have to get competitive. I think you're gonna have to drop the price a little bit so that people keep buying it, because while it's a great item, people are starting to be aware of other options that are either just as good or better and are cheaper. So anywho, those are the things that I consider to be a ripoffs. You guys let me know down below, what do you think are some ripoffs, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.